Assalamualaikum and hi. Seeing everyone is here, let's get started. Let's introduce ourselves quickly. My name is Ikhwan Thaqif bin Azhar as a project manager.
My name is Khalilah Amalina Binti Mohamad as Operational Manager.
My name is Ching as System Analyst.
And my name is Izzuddin Hisham, System Developer.
I have called this meeting in order to have some update from our progress about preliminary investigation report. Okay, Jan, can you start first with introduction?
Our project is Student Course Registration System. The Student Course Registration System enables students to register for courses during the registration period through the internet. In order to accept or deny courses requested by the student, the administration may review the specified of the individual student and prescribe the possibility of courses he or she can take in that specific semester. The student course registration system removes the needs of documents that must be filled out and retained for reference. And we select UKM as our client. The ultimate vision of UKM is committed to be ahead of society and time in leading the development of the learned, dynamic, and moral society. To support the vision, UKM comes up with the mission, which is to be the learning center of choice that promotes the souvenir of Bahasa Melayu and internationalist knowledge roots in the national culture.
Ms. Jane, sorry to interrupt. Why selected UKM as a client?
Okay, UKM students currently have to manually search for classes and the availability of courses via the course catalog in the registration system. So, we select UKM as our client.
Thank you.
Next, underlying problem. After conducting the UKM investigation, the present manual system faced numerous challenges in manually maintaining each student data. Hard copy registers are currently maintained to check student information depending on the investigation. The underlying problem include: first, the semester courses registration issue due to some manual means of activities which easily lead to misplacement or loss of student course registration information. Second, the manual pre-assessment of student course registration system is very sluggish and requires a lot of time, which results in delay in completing the entire courses registration process. Third, absorb time and human effort due to a long queue in process of registration process. And last, due to manual means of course registration process, such information can easily be misplaced or lost. Next, Feasibility Diagram. The causes of the problem have been summarized in the Feasibility Diagram. Of course, our system is to resolve this problem, and the benefit of the system will be presented by Khalilah.
Next, I will present to you our project scope. The reason why we prepare this project scope is to define the limit and extent of this project and to encourage a new system to enhance the registration process for University Kebangsaan Malaysia for variety of points of view. The system that we decide to implement in this project is Student Online Course Registration System. Next, I will present to you the justification of our project. First of all, what we must do. The most important thing that is we must to make sure all the team members of the project familiar and understand the management requirement in order to satisfy the request from the client. This student online registration system tend to assist students to collect information about the course that they want to take, and they can easily register themselves from any location. So, because of this, our system must be able to hold up to 2,000 users at a time, and the system must well perform during ad hoc session. Furthermore, we will make sure this system is able to store, secure, and automatically update all the data and details about the users and registration process. In addition, this system will help the register officer and instructor to review student details and easily to instructor to arrange their schedule, class, and student. For the second one is what the system should do. For your information, every student and instructor will have their own ID and password, and each course has a course number and instructor, given department, term and credit hours, classroom, periods, prerequisite course, and textbook. Other than that, all the classroom also has a special ID and location. So, if this all function, the system will help the student to arrange their schedule. They get to know their lecturer, where the class is located, and they can find out which classes and subjects they are eligible to take without wasting their time. Okay. For the third one is what the system could do. The system could review the constraints and limitations for the student and instructor, such as when they have issues with the schedule and clash timing with other classes in the same classroom. The system will notify the user as course information is changed or new classroom are added. And of course, the system will provide convenience to all the users.
Miss Khalilah, sorry for interrupt. Could you tell us why UKM needs this kind of system?
Okay. As I mentioned before, as you know, previously UKM using manual registration system process. Student and instructor, both of them having such much difficulties, such as especially during ad drop session. So by using this system, we guarantee it would save a massive amount of work to the registrar officer with directly consequent economical gain and well as conservation of time. It also would provide more efficient and satisfactory information and schedule for the student without wasting their time to filling out at the registration office.
Okay, thank you.
So moving to the next slide is project constraint. First of all, limited time. Actually, to implement a new system is not an easy task and it will take time. Due to lack of information and budget, we had little time doing this project, but in doing this project, we had tried to make the most of our time. Next one is limited cost. This is because UKM doesn't want a high maintenance and they have limited fund. They wanted us to stick to a smaller budget due to pandemic situation. Last but not least, we have limited resources and information. Before develop this system, we need to do some research about a movement and control of their previous registration process. But due to this pandemic situation, we are facing difficulties to get more information about their previous system. Next, I will explain how we perform fact findings. We are using two methods, which are interview and survey. As you can see, this is the result of our interview session. We have interviewed a few staff and lecturers in UKM. We noticed most of them already familiar with the online registration system, and they also aware that a lot of students are suffering with slow manual registration process. Okay, for the survey, we have spread a questionnaire among UKM students and we have got to 25 respondents. From the survey, we know that most of the students more prefer online registration rather than manual registration. They also agree this online system will make it easier for them to manage their schedule.
So next, I'm going to present about the feasibility study. So feasibility study is an analysis that important to developer as it will take all project relevant factors into account like economics, technical, operational and also scheduling considerations to ascertain the likelihood of completing the project successfully. So project management manager use feasibility studies to discover the pros and cons of undertaking a project before they invest a lot of time and resources toward the purpose system. So there is four type of feasibility studies that we're going to explain, which is schedule, technical, economic, and also operational feasibility. Okay, so the first one is the schedule feasibility, which determine whether the system that we are going to develop is capable to complete within the time limits. So feasibility between time and cost should be balanced as we cannot compressing tasks as it will incur more costs and taking a longer time to complete a task also will incur more costs. So the time and cost management need to be balanced. So the project is expected to complete in 3 months, which set at the end of January 2021. So the higher time taken to complete the systems, the higher amount of cost will be incurred, which will influence our budget. So if the system can be done within the time limits, then our feasibility is considered high. Next, student might be suffering for another manual registration process, which eventually will lower their satisfactions and also influence the staff efficiency. And also, it is crucial for us to complete it on time. Next one is the technical feasibility. So this study analyzes whether the proposed systems will work adequately and whether the current resources that they have can be upgraded to fulfill the requirement. So the system that we want to build is an online course registration systems where it will be able to give benefits in time consumptions and also workload that are beneficial for both users, for both staff and also students. So based on the purpose systems, the technology behind these systems are available in the market. That means we are capable to adapt these systems and also we can try to improve the capabilities of the systems. Next, we are going to look at the technical resources. Since we are working as 4 team members, it is sufficient enough for us to complete the projects that meet our client requirement. So the third one is the economic feasibility, which measuring the project cost and benefit of a purpose systems. So it is also known as cost and benefit study. Preparing this evaluation help UKM management to determine the project viability, the costs and resources before they start investing their financial resources in the proposed systems. So since the expected benefit and tangible costs has been explained, I will be explain more particularly on intangible costs. So the proposed system will actually increase the staff efficiency, which make registration process more effective for students. So all of us can actually agree that increase in efficiency will increase in the profit, right? However, due to these system implementations, UKM management might reduce the number of staff in the registration departments because the number of workload is decreasing, and having excessive workers will increase their monthly cost. So due to this reduced number of workers, some staff will have lower morale as they are afraid of losing their job. So the last one is the operational feasibility. So operational feasibility is a measure of how well a proper system solve the problems and take advantage of the opportunities identified in the project scopes and how it will satisfy our client needs. So the purpose system will simplify the process of registrations as students can gather their information about course and also enroll themselves online. So this will solve the problem of students queuing up for such a long time just to enroll for a certain courses. So next, students and instructors have the access to update their information, which will help enrollment process. For these situations, when the instructor update the course information, for example, like maybe they increase or decreasing the capacity of the classes, so the information will be updated automatically and student will be notified about the change. And lastly, in the long term period, the system will provide cost effective towards UKM management because the cost can be saved in many ways, such as paper handling, reducing information error, reducing manpower, and also reducing time consuming. Therefore, we could see there is a reductions in cost and addition in benefit. So in the conclusions, with all of these provided studies of schedule, technical, economic, and operational feasibility, we could conclude that this project is feasible and UKM management should agree about the project so that the problem of a slow registration systems can be solved and increase their user satisfactions.
Sorry, Afiq, for interrupt. Is there
Okay.
any solution that we could provide to UKM management about the issue on intangible costs which affect their staff morale?
So there is actually like one solutions that they can use for this issue. So UKM management could simply transfer the extra staff towards any department that maybe probably have any student related, such as co-curriculum departments or be an advisor for student club. So by doing so, UKM management could actually reduce the stress of their staff of getting fired and also unemployed, especially during this pandemic time.
And then we want to discuss about time and cost estimation. First, why we need to take account the cost, because the cost is one of the factor of the successful project. So the cost must match with client budget, and then the UKM require the low cost and low maintenance cost due to limited funds. So we must provide this predicted project cost to prevent unnecessary costs and to allocate the amount of the budget the of budget to each corresponding needs. I will focus to installation cost and license cost. Installation cost need to consider uh, how big the size of the UKM and how many user will use this system, and I think there is no problem about the data because we can use previous UKM database, and license cost we need to calculate also because all software must have license in order to install the system. And then we move to time estimation. We know that time is money, more cost, and so we should follow this schedule in order to make it like what we want. So this is the Gantt chart. We will end the project at 6 January, and then this the PERT chart.
I have questions. Just to be clear, if we refer to the PERT chart, right, is it analyze the critical path?
Yes, you're correct because it take time to understand the expectation of client and gathering information. Simply asking student and staff lecturers. Furthermore, need to do feasibility studies and so on. This will be the critical part. This is the interview question for staff and lecturers. This survey question for student, and then we will discuss about project scope. The purpose of preparing this project scope to avoid project creep. I will focus to objective, the system to recognize requests from everywhere, because student having a problem that they can't go back to campus. Furthermore, to automate the method of registration, and then retain accuracy and integrity data, because we get some problem from student that they get wrong subject from that. That's all. Before we end our meeting, is there any question?
No question here.
Questions.
So far, no.
Is there no question? Thank you for participating this meeting. Hope Mr. E will approve the report and we can proceed to the next step.